This is the RamanaMaharshi satsang, a time to listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself and be always free and at peace. Welcome. I'm Richard Clarke. I'm not a guru or a teacher. I love Ramana's teachings and so want to share it. I'll be reading and commenting on the Ashtavakra Gita, chapter 3, verses 8 to 14. In these verses, Ashtavakra continues to challenge Janaka about attachments to worldly pleasures. Verse 3.8. Strange is the one who is unattached to the things of this world and the next, who can discriminate between the transient and the timeless, who yearns for freedom, yet should fear the dissolution of the body. 3.9. Whether acclaimed or tormented in the serene sage abides in the self. He is neither gratified nor angered. 3.10. A great soul witnesses his body's action as if they were another's. How can praise or blame disturb him? 3.11. Realizing the universe is illusion, having lost all curiosity, how can one of steady mind fear death? 3.12. With whom can we compare the great soul who, content knowing self, remains desireless in disappointment? 3.13. Why should a person of steady mind who sees the nothingness of objects prefer one thing to another? 3.14. He who is unattached, untouched by opposites, free of desire, experiences neither pleasure nor pain as events pass through. So let's explore these Ashtavakra Gita. They express what later Ramana Maharshi taught. In them, Ashtavakra challenges Janaka about attachments to worldly pleasures. 3.8. Strange that one who is unattached to the things of this world and the next, who can discriminate between the transient and the timeless, who yearns for freedom, should yet fear the dissolution of the body. This verse points out the paradox that even an enlightened one who has developed detachments from worldly thought and other worldly things can discern between the temporary and the eternal might still fear the death of the physical body. It highlights a subtle form of attachment, fear of body dissolution, that can persist even in advanced practitioners. This fear underscores the deep-seated instinct for self-preservation inherent in all beings, which can linger despite intellectual understanding and spiritual advancement. Recognizing this paradox is crucial for spiritual practitioners as it brings awareness to the remnants of attachment, body identification, and fear that may still exist. It encourages deeper inquiry and vigilance to transcend even the subtle fears associated with the body. Transcending these remnants of body identification brings profound liberation and an unwavering equanimity, even in the face of death. 3.9. Whether acclaimed or tormented, the serene sage abides in the self. He is neither gratified nor angered. This verse illustrates the equanimity of a true sage, regardless of external circumstances, whether receiving praise or facing torment. The sage remains holding to the self, unaffected by thoughts and emotions such as gratification or anger. This equanimity arises from profound self-knowledge and realization of the self, which transcends dualities and emotional reactions. You know that you are truly, you are not touched by anything of the world. This verse underscores the importance of developing equanimity. It teaches that true peace and contentment come from abiding in the self, rather than seeking validation or avoiding discomfort. By cultivating this inner stability, you can navigate life's ups and downs with calm and grace. 3.10. A great soul witnesses his body's actions as if they were another. How can praise or blame disturb him? This verse portrays the detached witnessing of a realized soul who observes the body's actions as though they belong to someone else. This detachment ensures that praise or blame does not disturb the inner peace of a sage. It's an indication of deep non-identification with the body and its actions, rooted in the realization of the self as the true witness. Understanding and embodying this level of detachment helps you disidentify from the body and its activities, reducing susceptibility to praise or blame and ideas of success and failure. It fosters remaining as the unattached witness, bringing a stable and serene state of mind. 3.11. Realizing the universe is illusion, having lost all curiosity, how can one of steady mind fear death? The verse speaks to the realization of the illusory nature of the universe. For someone who has seen through the transient nature of worldly phenomena and has lost all curiosity for them, fear of death becomes meaningless. They recognize that death is just another change within the illusory play of existence, and the death of the body does not affect the steady, unchanging self. You are encouraged to contemplate the illusory nature of the universe deeply, to know that everything in the universe changes, comes and goes with the self, which is always unchanging. This reduces attachments and fears, including the fear of death. This knowledge fosters a steady mind and profound peace, unaffected by the changes of the phenomenal world. 3:12. With whom can we compare the great soul who, content, knowing self, remains desireless in disappointment? This verse highlights the incomparable nature of the realized sage who is content in the knowledge of the self. The sage remains free of desires, even when faced with disappointment. The sage shows profound inner fulfillment that does not depend on external circumstances. You are guided to find contentment in the self, transcending external desires and emotional responses of disappointment. How can you be disappointed when you have and are everything? This inner fulfillment carries with it a sense of peace and satisfaction that is not contingent on external situations. 3:13. Why should a person of steady mind who sees the nothingness of objects prefer one thing to another? The verse points out the futility of preferences for someone with a steady mind who recognizes the emptiness or nothingness of transient objects. When the transient and insubstantial nature of worldly things is known, the inclination to prefer one thing over another dissolves, leading to equanimity and detachment. What does one thing or another even matter? You're encouraged to see beyond the superficial appearances of objects and recognize their inherent emptiness. They are impermanent within the permanent self. This knowledge dissolves preferences and attachments for a more stable and equanimous mind. 3:14. He who is unattached, untouched by opposites, free of desire, experiences neither pleasure nor pain as events pass through. This verse describes a sage who is free from attachment, untouched by the dualities of pleasure and pain, and free of desires. Such a sage remains unaffected as events pass through, maintaining a state of inner peace and equanimity regardless of external circumstances. Carol and I have seen this kind of equanimity from our teacher, Nome. For you, This is a reminder to cultivate detachment and freedom from desires. By doing so, one could rise above the dualities of pleasure and pain, achieving a state of unshakable inner peace and equanimity. Detachment comes from knowing your unchanging self, from self-knowledge. These verses express the importance of detachment, equanimity, and the recognition of the illusory nature of the world for those on the path to self-realization. By transcending fear, desires, and duality, you achieve a profound inner peace and steadfastness in the self. These are transcended by knowledge of the self. By contemplating and reflecting on these teachings and engaging in self-inquiry, you can deepen your understanding and experience of the self, find self-knowledge, and move closer to the realization of your true nature as the self, and find the ultimate liberation from the transient phenomena of the world. So inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. And now a video from Nome, the Self and Illusion.
The existence that you truly are is utterly transcendent of the limitations of the body. As bodiless existence, where is your boundary? What is the significance of here and there, now and then, and such? As bodiless existence, you are locationless and unmoving. As bodiless existence, you are unformed, unborn, and imperishable. As bodiless existence, you are infinite and eternal. Just as your existence is bodiless, so it is egoless. That is, it is not individualized. This was revealed by Sri Ramana when he declared that the egoless state is the real state, the only real state that there is. That is, absence of individuality is in the very nature of existence. Existence, bodiless and egoless, is Brahman. It is one without anything other whatsoever. If you know yourself free of misidentification as a body, as an ego, your happiness is unlimited. For it is only imaginary bondage superimposed upon your being that obscures happiness. For being, consciousness, happiness are identical. Satchidananda. For the perfect fullness of the innate happiness to be revealed, you have only to know yourself as you truly are. That is the world transcendent, body transcendent, mind transcendent, Brahman self. Inquire, who am I? Embodied individuality is an illusion, a product of delusion, and not real at all. It is only illusion. If you mistake the body with a beginning and an end to be the existence which is beginningless and endless, it is merely illusion. When you mistake the body that moves for the unmoving silent self, it is only illusion. If you mistake the body with its qualities, attributes, and activities for the qualityless, attributeless, immovable self, without that delusive association, what are you? It is only an illusion. If you mistake the all-transcendent, non-dual self to be an individual who passes through the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep, it is only an illusion. If you mistake the falsely assumed individual for whom all this appears for the one self which is indivisible and undifferentiated, it is only an illusion that mistakes the unreal for the real and the real for the unreal. And it is only an illusion to conceive that there's such a thing as an illusion. For the real ever is, and the unreal never is. That which is the self, you always are. By inquiry, that is self-knowledge, you realize there is no other you, no other kind of self. So, abide as that, in self-knowledge, without the least trace of misidentification.
All right, and now let's take a few minutes and inquire ourselves. You exist. Notice that you exist. You exist and you know that you exist. And inquire, how do my attachments and desires influence my experience of pleasure and pain? How do external circumstances affect my inner peace? How can I maintain equanimity? How do I react to praise and blame? What does this say about my identification with the body and its actions? How can I remain steady and peaceful regardless of external outcomes? What is steady and peaceful within me? Who am I? What am I? What is the nature of my existence? All right. And we'll close with a chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm sorry about the Nome video. That was just in the period where his voice was starting to go away. I tried to use an audio editor to make it less bad. That was as good as I could do.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, neither did I.
Okay, I'm just more sensitive to it since I was messing with it. Anyway, good to see you all. Good to be with you and share some of this precious teaching.
So much
Thank
grace.
you.
So
As
much
always,
grace.
thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
These videos bring Ramana's teachings into your direct experience. Click subscribe to see more. Click thumbs up to like and send questions and start a dialogue with a comment.